Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how I highlight and contour after my foundation application. I've done my face tapes, wig cap, I've blocked out or sculpted my brows and done foundation. Those are all in previous videos. And right now we're just going to focus on highlighting and contouring. I have a MAC palette here that I built myself. And I have a couple contour colors and then a blush color. I also have some random other blushes, but I really like to stick to that supermodel 90s aesthetic. And everything back then was very earth toned after the vibrant colors of the 80s. And for me personally, I just think an uber flattering palette. So that's what I work with. We're going to go in with contouring first, and I'm going to be taking an Inglot angled brush. This one I think is 3P. And I'm going in with this color today, which is Raizin from MAC. It's like a dark brown, but it's got a little bit of warmth to it. And part of the neutral palette of the 90s always had that little bit of sort of like a rust undertone to it, and terracotta. It was just, I just thought it was really beautiful. So I take a smaller brush because this is a darker color, so I don't want to get too crazy with it. I tap off the excess. I don't like to blow on my brushes because it doesn't make sense to me, because I think it just drives the product further down into the bristles rather than tapping off the excess. And I start on my cheeks before my brush gets loaded up with a bunch of product, because I don't like it when you can see racing stripes down someone's cheek. This is a dark color, so I'm only going in right here. I'm not bringing it down, just right here to pop that cheekbone out here on the upper sides of my face. And I use it the shorter side down because there's going to be a bit more of a concentration of product, and then the longer side on the top, and that helps to diffuse the product up onto the cheekbone. I sucked in, but I don't know that that makes a difference when you're working this far back on the face. I think if you're doing like blush, it definitely works on the apples, so you can do it or you can not do it, whatever is more comfortable for you. And I just look at where I can see the natural shadow on my face, which is right about here. So I just go in and I just exaggerate that a little bit. And then I just kind of walk it up onto the cheekbone a little bit. I wipe off the excess, go back in, tap it off, and I like to switch hands when I'm working on the other side of my face, because I feel like on this side I can do this, but then when I reach around here, it's going to get more curved looking because I'm stretching to the other side, and the natural inclination of my arm is to swoop up. So I switch hands so I can maintain a little bit more of an up-down motion. And I'm just repeating what I did on the other side, and then I just walk it up the cheekbone. Oh, it looks pretty good. And then I'm going to go in with more Raizin, tap off the excess, and I'm going to come in underneath my jaw. Don't go too high up on the jawline, because then you're going to go from creating a shadow to chisel out your cheekbone to just creating this sort of gradation of color that walks up and over your jawline, which then creates, I think, a little bit more of a flatness rather than a pop or a chisel. And I'm stretching my neck out because I really want to make sure I'm getting the underside of my jaw. And then just whatever's on the brush, just under the chin, just walk it down a little bit. And then I'm just going to take a touch more. We're going to go up and down, just to kind of bring the face in a little bit. And again, shorter side, more concentration of product. That's going on the outside by my ear, and then this feathers in towards the face, so I get a much more blended look. Now, if you've watched my foundation application video, you'll see that I talk about not cutting this corner out with your cream contour because then it can look really heavy and blocky. It looks good straight on, but if you turn to the side, then all you see is that. But with whatever's left over on my brush, I can come in and just soften that corner a little bit. And then I'm going to go in with this color here, which is Blunt. And this is a darker color like Raizin, but it doesn't have that reddish rusty undertone to it. And I'm using this on my forehead because I don't want too much warmth in the recession here, because I do want this to be more of a shadow, and cooler colors tend to absorb more light, whereas warmer colors tend to reflect more light. Even when you're working with darker contour colors, I think that that little bit of attention to detail is the difference between a makeup application that's just good and a makeup application that's spectacular. It's a little awkward working with my left hand, but it's all about repetition, and you just get used to it after a while, and I feel like it gives me a more even application from side to side rather than doing this side with this hand and this side with this hand, because the arching movement of bringing your arm over just creates a different angle on the face, but that's just me. And then next what we're going to do is we're going to go in with a little bit of a larger angled brush. This again is an Inglot brush, but it's really old, so I'm not sure which one it is, but it's just a little bit bigger than the other one that I worked with, because we're going to be going in with a lighter color to then further blend what we've already done. I'm going in with this color right here. This is MAC Coppertone. And we're going to start the same process that I did with the Raizin and Blunt, but just using the Coppertone to further blend that, and I go right on top and then I just blend it in. And when I'm working with the lighter color, I will bring that a little bit further down just to carve out this area a little bit, because I'm working with a lighter color, it won't be so noticeable or garish. With this one, I'll bring it up just a little bit more, because again, it's a lighter color. So it's just going to blend and graduate that color up, rather than just having a block of contour that flattens that area. And then as I'm doing the forehead, I want to make sure, see how I go a little bit slower because I'm working with my left hand here. Precision, take your time, be precise. As I'm working on the sides of my forehead, I want to make sure that I'm not dragging the brush so far down that I start breaking up the line of my eyebrow color. So you just want to be careful how far you go down. And if you want that little bit, just turn the brush this way and sweep up a little bit, and you'll get that product application a little closer to the brow and the temple without actually disrupting the work that you did to create that brow. And then with the lighter color, I'll come across the top, and you're just kind of creating, that rainbow on the forehead, just kind of bringing the focus into the center of the face. And then once we've done that, I like to go in with a little bit of a bronzer. This one is Too Faced Sun Bunny. I like it because it has a darker color with a lighter color and just a hint of shimmer. So if you don't want to go in with a highlight, you can still use the bronzer and get a little bit of that natural glow to your skin. And then this is a Sephora Highlight Contour Brush. I'm using this one to go in with my bronzer. And I'm going to go, this time instead of going on the contour. I'm going to go just above the contour and work it up. And I'm going to be applying this to the cheeks, the forehead, and just a little bit on the nose where the sun would naturally bronze your skin a little bit more, the higher planes of the face as the sun comes down and hits you. And this is, for me, bronzer has taken the place of blush on the actual cheekbone, and now I just use blush on the apple to give my skin a little bit of a flush after I've wiped all of the natural color away. Take a little bit on the nose, because we're still going to highlight and contour the nose. A little bit on the forehead. And I don't follow the same pattern of contouring on the forehead for the bronzer. I try to hit like those bones on the forehead that come up, because the sun would be bronzing those more than it would the flat surface of the center of my forehead. And that's it for the bronzer. Not a whole lot, but you can always apply more if you were going for more of a bronzed look. And then before I do my highlighter, what I do is go in with MAC Studio Fix, and this is a Sephora powder brush, and I just give a quick little light dusting over everything just to kind of help blend all of the colors together. I really do like a seamless makeup look. I don't like lines. So I just come in, and I feel like the Studio Fix also gives the finish of my skin a little bit more of a natural, dewier look, rather than like a heavy, heavy look. And then the fun part, now highlighter. And this is where I like to get most of my pop. Rather than doing contour to get the pop, I do a little bit of contour and a lot of highlighter because I just feel it looks a little bit more youthful. I'm using the Jeffree Star Skin Frost. It's the, I don't know if it's limited edition or just special edition, where he did the collaboration with Manny, the makeup artist. And this color is Uranus. I like this one because, I can't say that without smiling. I like it because it has a little bit of a gold finish, and I like the warmer colors. I like to have a little bit more depth and warmth. I just feel it creates a more youthful glow. And then to apply my highlighter, I'm using the Sephora fan brush. And I start off subtle and then I build. So rather than going in and I just take my brush, give it a few swipes across the top, shake off the excess, and then I come in like this and start kind of sculpting my highlight. I like to take a little bit on the brow bone too. Kind of connect them in like a little V. It's so good. I love this stuff. I think I'll take a little bit more. This side. And then, just whatever is left over, I'll kind of take it onto the apple of the cheek a little bit. Just a little bit. I don't like too much highlighter too close on the inside of the face, because where those areas are more dynamic, you actually can look a little bit older once the highlight accentuates the little fine lines, some of the crepiness of the wrinkles, if you're just aging or if your skin's dehydrated. So I like to be a little cautious when I start working in, but I think a little bit works really well. And then we're going to take a little bit more and we're going to go down the center of the nose, and I just turn my fan brush like this and just kind of hit the center of my nose, and then I turn it over because this part hasn't hit my nose, and I use that and I just flick up like that, and then kicking the little tip up, which helps to create a little bit more of that sculpted shape. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a MAC 227 brush. People do this all the time. I don't know if that really makes a difference or not, if it's just something that people do, but MAC 227 brush. And then I'm going to go in with my blunt, because it's the cooler of my two contour colors, and I just want it to just be a little bit of a shadow. And I'm going to come in and from like the corner of my brow and just bring this down a little bit onto the bridge of my nose. Not super, super dark, but just to give it a little sculpt. Because I like the overall shape of my nose, but the portion of the bridge of my nose right here actually gets a little bit wider, and that, it's not that I don't like it, but I just think for drag and for the aesthetic that I'm creating, I like it to have a little bit more of a streamlined look. It's funny because when I was younger, people always thought I had a nose job, but now that I've gotten older, because I guess your nose and your ears never stop growing, now people never say, oh, have you gotten a nose job anymore? Which is okay, it's fine, whatever. You can create that with makeup. And then I take my powder brush and I'm going to blend this, because again, I don't want it to be super dark. So I'm just going to blend that out a little bit. Yeah, I think that looks good. And then I'm going to take, you know what, I'm going to take a little bit of highlighter just across the center of my forehead. So using my fan brush, I'm just going to come in and kind of a triangle, because I don't want to put too much emphasis on the top of my forehead. I want to keep it down here like this. And then I like to take a little bit over the Cupid's bow. It'll help make the lips look bigger. And then just like a teeny tiny touch on the chin, and then a teeny tiny touch down here. I think that's good. And then to finish it up, I'm going to do a little bit of blush, and I'm going to go in with this, I don't remember the name of this pink blush. I have it written down on a cheat sheet and I don't have the cheat sheet handy, but it's just a nice pop of pink kind of blush. And this is an Inglot blush brush, and I'm just going to swirl it around in the pink, tap off the excess, and then I like to smile so I can really get the apples of the cheeks to pop. And just in a circular motion, I apply the blush, and then I just kind of sweep it down over what I've done a little bit, kind of from the apple to the earlobe, apple to the earlobe. Take a little over the highlighted areas too, just to give it a little color, a little flush. I think she looks good. So that's how I highlight and I contour. I'm sorry it's in two parts, and I might be able to actually edit them together so it's not a part one and part two, but we'll see. Anyway, if you have any questions about contouring or highlighting, please comment down below. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks, bye.